Have you ever pondered how to unveil the best version of yourself in relationships? It's a query that resonates deeply because, at our core, we all yearn for genuine affection, respect, and recognition. But how do we attain this? How do we earn authentic admiration, not just for superficial qualities, but for the essence of who we truly are? Picture each relationship as an adventure, with you as the intrepid explorer, uncovering the hidden treasures within your soul to share with others. Today, let's embark on a journey to discover your true value in relationships through the lens of 9 ancient Stoic philosophical lessons. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and join our community on a quest for a more resilient and fulfilling Stoic life. 1. Understanding your true worth. Imagine you're like a rare gemstone, precious and unique. Your value doesn't come from what others think of you, like how many likes you get on social media, or if someone finds you interesting. It's about how you see yourself and the qualities you have inside. Even if someone doesn't recognize your value, it doesn't mean you're not important. Your worth comes from how you behave, like being kind, honest, and true to yourself. In relationships, it's important to know that your value isn't based on what others think of you. It's about finding strength in knowing your own worth, even if others don't see it. It's like a journey where you have to remind yourself every day that you are valuable, just the way you are. 2. Present yourself with dignity. Being yourself is really important. It means not trying to change who you are to impress others. Imagine you're in a classroom and there are 2 students giving presentations. One student is trying really hard to impress everyone with big words and gestures, while the other student is just being themselves, calm and confident. Who do you think makes a better impression? It's usually the student who is genuine and comfortable in their own skin. In relationships, it's the same. You shouldn't try to be someone you're not just to make someone like you. If you love reading books or have a passion for something, don't hide it. Embrace it. Treating yourself with respect is also really important. It sets the standard for how others should treat you. If you respect yourself, others are more likely to respect you too. So, it's not about pretending to be someone else, but about being confident in who you are and sticking to your values. 3. The art of nonverbal communication. Setting boundaries gracefully in relationships means knowing how to communicate without always using words. Imagine you're like a treasure chest, and your boundaries are like the locks that protect the treasure inside. It's important to dress and act in a way that shows you respect yourself. Think of it like wearing clothes that make you feel good about yourself, but not showing too much or trying too hard to impress. It's about finding balance. Managing your time and focus is also really important. Imagine you have a jar of marbles, and each marble represents your time and energy. You only have a limited number of marbles, so you need to be careful about who you give them to. Being discerning about who gets your time and attention is a way of showing that you value yourself and your own needs. When you're with someone, it's important to be fully present and engaged, but it's also okay to be unavailable sometimes and focus on your own interests and personal growth. Emotional self-mastery is another key aspect. It means not letting your emotions control you, but instead staying calm and composed, like a steady ship in rough waters. It's about being able to handle difficult situations with grace and resilience, and not letting minor things upset you too much. 4. Be ready to walk away. Knowing when to stay in a relationship and when to walk away is really important for your own well-being and self-respect. Imagine you're on a journey, and sometimes you come across paths that lead to dead ends. It's important to recognize when a relationship is no longer serving you and to have the courage to walk away. This doesn't mean giving up at the first sign of trouble, but it does mean knowing your own worth and not settling for less than you deserve. It's about having the strength to say, "This isn't right for me," and to move on to something better. Walking away from a relationship that doesn't align with your values or make you happy takes a lot of courage, but it's also incredibly empowering. It's like clearing away the clutter in your life to make room for something better. When you have the courage to walk away from something that isn't working, you create space for new opportunities and relationships that are more fulfilling and aligned with who you are. So, don't be afraid to listen to your inner voice and trust yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't feel right. 5. Setting boundaries silently. Boundaries are like invisible lines that show people how they should treat you. Imagine you have a garden and you put up a fence to keep out animals. Your boundaries are like that fence, protecting you from things that might hurt you. But in relationships, boundaries are more about how you expect to be treated by others. It's about showing people what you will and won't accept in a respectful way. For example, if someone says something mean to you, you might calmly tell them that it's not okay to speak to you like that. Or if someone asks you to do something that makes you uncomfortable, you might politely decline. Setting boundaries silently means you don't always have to say what your boundaries are. Instead, you show them through your actions and how you respond to situations. It's about being true to yourself and standing up for what you believe in without having to explain yourself all the time. When you set boundaries silently, you're showing that you respect yourself and expect others to do the same. 6. Actions speak louder than words. In relationships, it's easy for people to say nice things, but what really matters is how they act. Imagine someone telling you they'll always be there for you, but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. Actions speak louder than words because they show what someone really thinks and feels. It's like if someone says they're a good friend, but never makes time for you, or doesn't listen when you talk. Actions show if someone is genuine or just pretending. So it's important to pay attention to how people treat you, not just what they say. If someone's actions don't match their words, it might be a sign that they're not being honest or sincere. Trusting someone's actions over their words can help you see things more clearly and protect yourself from getting hurt. It's like having a built-in radar that helps you spot who's really there for you and who's just saying what they think you want to hear. So remember, actions speak louder than words, and it's okay to trust what you see over what you hear sometimes. 7. Cultivating healthy skepticism. Skepticism in relationships means being cautious and not believing everything you hear or see right away. Imagine you're like a detective investigating a case. You don't just trust the first person you talk to, you gather evidence and weigh it carefully before making a decision. In relationships, skepticism is like having a built-in lie detector. It's about being smart and not falling for sweet words or promises without proof. For example, if someone tells you they love you after just one date, you might be skeptical and wonder if they really mean it or if they're just saying it to impress you. Being skeptical doesn't mean being negative or distrustful. It means being realistic and using your judgment to protect yourself. It's like having a shield that blocks out anything that seems too good to be true until you have enough evidence to believe it. By cultivating healthy skepticism, you're taking care of yourself and making sure you don't get hurt by someone who's not being genuine. 8. Saying no with confidence. Saying no in relationships can be really hard, especially if you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings or being rejected. But sometimes, saying no is the best thing you can do for yourself. Imagine you're at a party and someone offers you a drink that you don't want. Saying no in that situation is about respecting your own boundaries and knowing what's best for you. In relationships, saying no with confidence is about being true to yourself and not compromising your values or beliefs just to please someone else. For example, if your partner wants you to do something that goes against your morals, like lying to someone or cheating, saying no is the right thing to do, even if it's difficult. It's like standing up for yourself and showing that you have self-respect and integrity. When you say no with confidence, you're sending a powerful message that you won't be pushed around or taken advantage of. It's about setting boundaries and showing that you value yourself enough to say no when something doesn't feel right. So, don't be afraid to say no with confidence, because it's a sign of strength and self-respect. 9. Never chase, always value. This principle in relationships is about knowing your own worth and not chasing after someone who doesn't appreciate you. Imagine you're like a valuable gem, and you shouldn't have to chase after anyone to see your worth. It's about understanding that you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness, and if someone doesn't see that, it's their loss. Chasing after someone who isn't interested in you can make you feel small and unimportant, like you're begging for their attention. Instead, focus on valuing yourself and investing in your own happiness. It's like putting yourself on a pedestal and saying, "I am worth it." When you value yourself, you attract people who see your worth and treat you accordingly. It's like a magnet that draws in the right kind of people, people who appreciate you for who you are. So, never chase after someone who doesn't see your value. Instead, focus on loving and valuing yourself, and the right people will come into your life naturally.